Hi, my name's Angela Duncan, and we're here today to talk a little bit about our own supervisory style and my supervisory style and how we can mesh those together and be on the same page as we do our observations in the classrooms and approach what or who might be an ineffective teacher or those teachers that might be needing a little bit of assistance. Let's go ahead and get started. First of all, identifying the marginally effective teacher. When working with a marginally effective teacher, you must first recognize your end goal. Are you wanting to help the teacher improve, or are you moving towards non-contract renewal or possibly a termination? I feel like the question I always ask myself when I am trying to make that determination is, would I choose to have my own child in that teacher's classroom? Of course, we all have things to improve upon, and we do not want any teacher to feel like we are looking to find the flaws. But there are two factors that lie in the heart of poor classroom performance. One, the teacher's level of abstraction, the ability to identify classroom problems and generate solutions, and the teacher's level of commitment and willingness to accept responsibility for student learning and achievement. Placing students first in the adult decision making is what creates the truly effective teacher. And if a teacher is lacking in those areas, then you're going to begin to see problems all around. A little bit about abstract thinking and problem solving. If a teacher is performing at a low level due to a lack of abstract thinking and problem solving, you must address the issue. There are 5 possible causes for a lack of abstraction. Lack of experience, lack of knowledge, difficulty solving problems, lack of awareness, or personal problems. Lack of experience seems to be the most common. New teachers just haven't been exposed to many of the situations that come about on a day-to-day basis that your veteran teachers have seen and dealt with, and they just don't know. They don't have the skill set and the experience to deal with that yet. The same as lack of knowledge. For example, some of the situations that come into play, if you have a student that is on the autism spectrum, if you've never had that training, if you've never had that experience with that type of student and the behavioral and emotional issues that could possibly develop, you may not know how to respond to that. Some people are not natural problem solvers, and they have trouble without a plan of action being laid out for them. Sometimes there can be a lack of awareness, just a general not seeing a problem that's happening if it's going below the radar and you haven't picked up on it. Or personal problems. It's very easy for personal problems, family issues, financial, marital troubles, problems with your own personal children. It's very easy to carry that into the classroom and affect your decision making. We as administrators need to be aware to those situations and help whenever possible. The level of commitment. Some teachers have the ability to think abstractly, yet are still marginally effective. In this case, the teacher's general attitude needs to be addressed. A low level of commitment can be caused by a why bother attitude. You need, as an administrator, to be able to gauge how high that teacher's level of commitment is. Causes could be burnout, self-centeredness, unwillingness to change and fear of change, and again, personal problems. Veteran teachers at times do tend to suffer from burnout and that fear of change, if something's not broken, why fix it attitude. There are ways to address that in a positive and helpful manner that don't leave that teacher feeling alienated. That also tends to happen with veteran teachers. We need to help that teacher realize that the end goal is the student, not what we are there for. We're not trying to prove our curriculum. It's for the child. Issues involved in supervision. Many issues are involved in the relationship between the teacher and the supervisor when dealing with the delicate issue of teacher improvement. All of these factors play into the diagnosis of the problem and the role of the supervisor in the outcome. Clear timelines and expectations must be set after thoroughly considering the possible causes. From my philosophy standpoint, the collaborative supervisory style is best. This is a philosophy that I work by and I hope to build upon with you. In extreme circumstances, such as assault, etc., the teacher will not be called upon in a collaborative nature. To bring about improvement for a struggling teacher, I feel that teacher should always have an input as well as clear expectations set. Expectations that are the same for all teachers and clearly stated. The teacher should know and understand what we are trying to achieve, but have a part in the planning of how to get there. Just as we want that process for our students, we want our educators, our staff to feel that valued role as well. Strategies for collaboration could be conduct pre-observation conferences to discuss the teacher's plans. 2, conduct a classroom observation, collect data, analyze, and make your own judgments as a supervisor. After each observation, conduct a post-observation conference and provide feedback that's relevant and helpful to the teacher. Diagnose the issue. Come up with that prescription. What's the plan and the timeline for which to carry it out? Number 7, consider writing a specific incident memorandum regarding any incident if necessary. And 8, continue to observe the teacher, focusing on specific changes in behavior that you and the teacher have agreed upon. And finally, if you don't see adequate growth, consider collaboratively creating a professional improvement plan to formalize what you have shared in your analysis of deficiencies. But that is a last resort. And in most cases, you do see growth and you're able to look for the positives. But if you're dealing with a teacher that is not willing to change and you are not seeing those, then a growth plan is required. In summary, I feel very strongly and of most importance that you need to explain to the teacher in need of assistance that your purpose is not to hurt them, not to find the wrong, not to get rid of them, but to help the situation, help them feel better about where they are, help them feel better about what they're doing for their students, and to feel a part of the process. If the teacher feels that an administrator is out to get them or force them to leave or just does not want them to remain on the campus, there will not be any growth at all. Just as if a student does not feel that positive connection with their teacher, they don't thrive and grow educationally or emotionally. It's the same with teachers. It's the same with your staff. The teacher will cease to be productive, can lose all trust and commitment, which in turn affects the student's overall performance and success. If you as a supervisor do not handle this delicate situation in a very honest and helpful way, it can have the adverse effect on the teacher. I firmly believe that we're here to build each other up. We all have deficiencies. We all have room for growth. Being upfront and working collaboratively can create that positive change we wish to see in our educators and our students. Thank you. We're going to have a great year.